Ciao a tutti, sono Giorgio di Wars Libri Comics e siamo qui con Timothy Zahn per una breve intervista. So, hello Tim, and welcome to Italy and to Lucca.
Grazie.
So, first question is, when have you understood that writing was your own path?
I'm not. I found it was fun to write. I wrote my first story in November of 1975, just because I'd seen a bad TV show and thought I could write something better. So I found out that I enjoyed writing. So worked at it as a hobby for 3 years. Then when my thesis advisor died of a heart attack and my project was done, I decided I was having more fun writing than I was doing physics, so started doing writing full-time in 1980.
So, how do physics have helped you in writing your books?
Well, I know a little bit about just general physics, conservation of energy and momentum and such, but mostly because I understand science and technology, I can create new technology that I think feels more realistic than I might have without that science background. So it helps me to create new science and new technology that is consistent with itself and feels real to the readers.
And so, how do you explain the love that Star Wars fans have for Thrawn?
I think Thrawn he's just very different from anybody they'd ever seen in the movies or the TV shows. He was not evil. He had his own agenda, but he was very smart. He was not someone who would ever say, "You rebel scum." He would say, "I understand you, I respect you, but you're my enemy and I will destroy you." So he was just, you had to outthink him rather than, lightsabers wouldn't help. Force users may or may not be any good. He could outfight you in any place he chose, and that made him a big challenge. And when the heroes have a big challenge, they have to be more heroic.
Yeah. And how do you feel that Thrawn has changed over the years till your last book, Thrawn?
I don't think he's really changed. The book Thrawn is the same. He's the same character I wrote back in 1991 in the Thrawn Trilogy. It's just with later books, it was a different part of his timeline that I was writing, and the people doing Star Wars Rebels have done a very good job of bringing him to the television screen. They understand the character and they know how to write for him. So I've been very pleased. He's not really changed. He's the same person he always was.
For example, I really enjoyed that you gave him such a bad politics. He is not so good in politics, and I really enjoyed this little failure of him.
Yes, that was one of the things we wanted to put into the new book. That he's very good in military situations, but is not as good in politics. That's a weak spot.
Yeah.
And he needs people like Eli Vanto and Governor Arinda Price to kind of help him along in those areas. You don't want either a hero or a villain to be perfect. They have to have some flaws and some problems, and politics is his.
So, speaking about Eli Vanto and Arinda Price and about Thrawn allegiances, will we see some common faces in the new book?
The new book is taking place, it's after season 3 of Rebels, but it's out in a different part. It is an adventure, a mission that Thrawn is sent on with Darth Vader. So it'll be mostly Thrawn and Vader, the Chimera, and some other things as well. But I hope to bring Eli Vanto back if I am allowed to do a third or a fourth book. I have plans for him.
I really enjoyed the character. Have you plans, for the unknown regions?
For which?
For the unknown regions.
I have some thoughts about the unknown regions. Again, I need to make proposals for new books to Del Rey and Lucasfilm, and if they like my ideas, I definitely want to go into the unknown regions more.
And so speaking about Lucasfilm, how does Lucasfilm change the way you work from the 90s to now?
Not really any different. The big difference is that back in the 90s, we were all trying to figure out how to do this and how to keep consistency and keep all the books and movies fitting together. Now they have the story group that watches over everything, movies, TV, books, comic books, and keeps everything fitting together. So I don't have to worry when I'm writing that I'm going to make a mistake here, because the story group reads everything and they will check and they will find that, and we will fix it. So it's actually helpful. It's very helpful to have the group there, and they are very, very good at helping find little plot holes or things like that. They have been very, very helpful with Thrawn, and I'm looking forward to seeing their comments on Thrawn alliances.
Okay. And another question is, how do you approach comic adaptations of your book?
Generally, the comic adaptation is done independently. I have been in contact with Marvel about the Thrawn adaptation. I've been on the road for several weeks, so I need to touch base with them again. But the people who are doing the adaptation are fans of Thrawn, so I'm expecting that they will do a good job with the comic.
And what story, without any limitation, would you like to tell about the Star Wars universe?
I would like to tell more about Thrawn, but I also would like to tell the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi after he left baby Luke on Tatooine. I think he went someplace else in the Empire to draw attention to himself, so not attention to Luke, where Luke was, and would make a lot of trouble for everybody. And I would like to write that story.
So I have a question from one of my readers of the blog. So he asked me, what would you suggest to prospective writers and novelists that want to work on Star Wars?
You need to first show you can write your own material, so you need a track record of your own writing, your own universes, your own imagination. Show you can write a good story, you can get it published, and then you may be able to get a Star Wars book, but they're not going to take someone who hasn't proven they can write novels.
And what can you tell us about your non-Star Wars works, actually?
My 9th and last Cobra book comes out in January, Cobra Trader. My 3rd collaboration with David Weber in the Honor Harrington universe, A Call to Vengeance, is out in March. The 2nd book of the Sybil's War trilogy will come out, should come out next summer. And then, of course, Thrawn Allegiances comes out, comes out sometime next summer as well.
Okay. So one just last question is more of a request.
Yep.
So can you please put a good word in high places about us Italian Star Wars fan, because we're very passionate, but your last book hasn't arrived yet, and we don't know if it will arrive. So please, if you just can ask Del Rey or Disney Publishing.
I will talk to them as soon as I get a chance and tell them that they need to expedite the Italian version of Thrawn.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tim. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks. Bye. Grazie a tutti.